How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? This week on Heaven's Demons podcast, episode 34. I am one of your gracious hosts, Arturo.
And I'm Adam, and I swear I'm paying attention.
He's getting a lot of stuff ready. There's certain things in the works which we'll allude to in a little bit, and he has to kind of prep for it. So meanwhile he does that, we can go ahead and start off this week. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Rate 5 stars. Subscribe, unsubscribe again, subscribe again. You know, it helps us out. Share to 5 people. You know, just do the Lord's work, guys. It really does mean a lot to us. Comment, be more engageful. You have any comments? Do you have any questions? Guess what? We'll take them. We'll take almost any of them. But yeah, I would say we could probably start doing the weekend recap. We went to shout out Evelyn. She had her art show at her studio here in Indio, right by Everbloom. It was fantastic. I was a little upset.
Why?
Only because by the time I got there, like 85% of the paintings were sold. And mind you, I got there a little late, but it wasn't that late. So I was like, one, good for her, but two, I was like, darn, I wanted some of those paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there were. I've never really been to art shows. It's never really been my thing. Mm-hmm. But it was tough because I don't know if you guys do the same. It's something I do. If I'm new or in an uncertain environment, it's not that it was uncomfortable. It was just brand new to me.
Yeah.
Like I'll start like giggling or like that's how I ease. That's how I ease through things. It's
You're
like
just giggling in a corner,
just kind of like laughing things off.
like what the fuck? Like I think of that meme.
That's how it is.
That everybody the drawing, and it's like the guy standing in the corner like. And they change the captions like they don't know I'm a Tyler the Creator fan. He's like dressed in all golf wang. Mm-hmm. That's you. Like they don't know this is my first art show.
They could never guess.
Like bro, we've never seen this guy at an art show before.
You're not a part of this community, are you? But that's how I felt. I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this. But It was cool to see because she has very good artwork. There's one piece that I saw. I'm like, I think Batman. I think Robert Pattinson, goth Batman. Mm-hmm. And I wanted that one, but it was sold, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got there, 5-10 minutes after you?
Yeah, shortly after.
Yeah, shortly after. Well, we went to her other art show at Flat Black.
Flat Black, yeah. This is the first time us going to, I think it was the first art show at her studio.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, and I had gone there before for a sound bath, so I kind of already knew the space. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't foreign to me. It was just walking in and maybe not knowing who's there, what the vibe is, what's going on.
But my question to you: have you been to art shows before?
Yes.
Not art museums.
No. I went to an art show in LA.
Okay.
I went to an art show in LA where my friend Gideon was DJing, and there was an actual art show going on as well. I didn't look at the art. I just went to go see my friend perform.
Yeah.
But there was an art show. It was the whole reason for him performing was. It was a lineup of DJs and an art show going on at the same time. Met the artist. He had sold a bunch of. He does different art, like with. I'm not gonna say with his hands, but like he uses like welding and like actual like.
Oh wow.
It's I don't even know what you would call it. It's like fixtures, structures, and stuff like that he puts on canvases and like.
That's kind of cool.
Very. I wouldn't say like industrial, but it's very like stuff like that. It's not painting.
Yeah.
So. It was cool though. I mean, it's always cool seeing your friend in her element.
Yeah. And how she thrives in it.
Because it was in us knowing behind the scenes of her. Not gonna put her on blast, but all the work that she put into it. No matter how close it got to the show.
Hey, it's pretty crazy when you see how the sausage is made, right?
I guess
that's an expression I've heard somewhere.
Yeah. I've heard of it too right now.
And some people thrive in certain things, like some people like pressure, some people don't. Some people like to push it to the end, some people don't. Mm-hmm. And seeing how she did it, and then she still pieced it all together. Yeah. Shout out Evelyn, you did great.
She did phenomenal. And as a fellow procrastinator, I can appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I would say coffee on us next time, but considering how much you sold, I mean, it should be coffee on you.
Should be coffee on her. Hey, but not to put her on blast either, but I'm the same way of like, I just did that shit. Go celebrate.
Yeah.
She's sells one painting, already looking at Airbnbs.
I know. She's already trying to book a flight. Shout out.
Hey, live your best life, sis.
I would do the same.
It. Do it.
Done with the art show. Let's go celebrate. Let's go get some chicken tenders.
Mm-hmm.
Simple woman. We appreciate it.
Simple woman.
We appreciate it.
And close that place down.
We did. We were those. That's the first time I think I've been that person in a long time. We didn't know. I don't know if you know this. The tack room closes at 10. I thought they meant the kitchen closes at 10, not the actual establishment.
Yeah, and we were the second to the last group to leave.
Yes.
But we were a party of how many was this? Were there?
Like probably like 16, 17.
Yeah, 16 to 17 people. So the server got, because it's automatically added, the gratuities added already.
Oh, they made.
So
good money.
he made good money. Like, it was worth it. We weren't that hard. I mean, not all of us were eating food.
No.
So, but yeah, I hadn't been that person in a while.
And I felt bad for a second, but then I was like, you know what?
It's not bad when you're drunk, because you don't know.
No.
You don't know that you're closing this place down and these poor bastards want to go home.
Yeah.
When you're sober, you could see it on their face.
Yeah, dude, I am so sorry.
Yeah, like, it's nothing but apologies.
See, but my whole thing is, like, they should have led with, like, when we got there, because we got there, like, 9:35? It was, like, 25 minutes before they closed. Or, like, 30 minutes. So, it's, like, it's cutting it close.
Yeah.
They should have said, oh, we're closing at 10. They didn't mention it at all.
Well, he did say, like,
you have to, if you're going to put it in order,
if you want food, put it in now. And we're like, oh, shit, okay, well, where's the menu? Like, there already been, like, maybe half of the party was already there.
Yeah.
So they had been sitting there for a while. So we're walking into this, and we're like, oh, fuck, okay. And then he had to go get drinks for the table. By the time he came back, it was already pushing the time, but, like, I don't know what you want. Like, it was almost like, what do you want us to do if we just got here, you're asking us if we want food, and then you say, okay, I'll be right back with you guys' drinks, and then you're gone for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
it
kind of forces our hand. Like,
it's a tough one. And granted, he doesn't have much help either, because I'm sure people have already gone home, but
yeah.
I would have, I would have said, like, we do close at 10, so I need you guys to put in your food right away.
That burger was fucking good, though.
Oh, no, it was fire.
It was good. It was perfect. It was what I needed. And it was, it's not Good Friday every day, but since it's Lent, we can't eat meat.
Can't eat meat on Friday.
On Friday? I mean, but when I'm out, that rule don't really apply to me.
Hey, I would hope God's understanding to know, like, hey, dude, they don't serve anything else here. So I could either go starving.
Well, I mean, I could get 2 fish tacos and pay fucking $15, or I could just get a burger and be fulfilled.
Yeah. So would you rather me to be fulfilled or me be hungry?
And technically, it's already, Saturday on the East Coast.
Yeah. So I ask you, God.
So, sorry, God, if you're even listening.
I feel like it's a one-way street here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was fun, and then we did like a little celebration the next day for Evelyn's birthday, which was also fun.
Do you ever think when we pray to God that we're calling collect, and He's just not accepting the charges?
Me personally, I like to think, I like to believe in free will, and God's kind of hands off, lazy fairy with the bitch, if I will, and I think He's like, you know what, that's their problems.
Yeah, like
that's what I honestly think.
Like, if you've ever gotten a phone call from somebody from a penitentiary and they're like, would you accept the charges?
No.
And God's probably like, God, no.
He's like,
me, no.
He's like, do you know what I'm gonna? Hey, he might not rack up money, but you know the amount of stress this is gonna rack up if he answered all of our calls.
Yeah, he's like, let the secretary get that. I'm not taking no charges.
Who the fuck's the secretary?
Yeah, St. Peter.
Oh, okay.
He's the one, or he's the bouncer.
Ha, he would be him or Michael.
Well, St. Peter is the guy that you meet at Heaven's Gate.
Oh, really?
That decides if you're in or out.
Okay. I just know that Michael's like God's toughest warrior, supposedly.
I wouldn't say it's toughest. It's his most famous, noted.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like, I forgot how many archangels there are, and he's one of them, and he's the most glamorized.
Yeah.
So there's St. Michael, St. Gabriel, the archangels.
Archangels, if you will. Yes.
Whatever. We steered off the path.
Yeah, we steered off the path. And then what else did we do? Oh, we also, we do shameless plug here. I don't mind doing this. We're doing some last minute touch ups on the surprise drop. Well, not really a surprise now since we're telling you.
By the time you hear this, it's not a surprise, and majority of the listeners.
Our stuff will be on the feed, but our freeway series, our rivalry series part 1, which is the freeway series between the Dodgers and the Angels.
Should we have the hats on the table?
I mean, if you want to go grab them, sure.
Oh, since we're talking about it,
so we kind of did this thing where we wanted to do like a rivalry series type of collection with, and oddly enough, baseball was coming back, so we're like, hey, you know what, Dodgers Angels, that's a big rivalry, why don't we just do like Heaven's Demons rendition on that. There we go. We'll put these bad boys right here. We wanted to do a Heaven's Demons rendition of that, so we kind of did Angels cap, Dodgers cap, We have some bats with some nails on it. We have
Sideways so they can
what year of the Freeway Series is this?
60th anniversary.
60th anniversary.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of cool things that we worked up into it. And oddly enough, this coming weekend when we drop is the Freeway Series. It's like I think it's like the last series both teams have before the regular season starts because baseball got pushed back a little bit.
Yeah, and I did more history. So April 2nd, Saturday, is the exact day 60 years ago when they played in Palm Springs because Gene Autry bought the team in 1960.
Yeah.
And they were still based in L.A. It's just that for spring training, it was hosted in Palm Springs.
Yeah, which is cool. I never knew that.
Yeah. A lot of people, well, unless you're like a Valley native, you didn't really know. And since he had access to the stadium here, he bought the rights to the Palm Springs Stadium and that's where the Angels played during the springtime. In 1962, that was the first time these two teams ever faced.
Yeah.
And that was when the Freeway Series was born in Palm Springs, April 2nd, 1962.
So there is like that connection to home, which I mean, you think about Dodgers Angels, like it's LA, it's Orange County, it's big city, but then if you think about it, that shit kind of started like right in our backyard.
It started right in our backyard, and nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah.
Even the video of where I sourced like some of the information, it only had like 300 views. So it's like
it's not really
it's not really talked about. It's not. There's a Desert Sun article that was done in 2020 about it. They're bringing it up again. But yeah, it was 60 in 2020. It was 60 years that the Angels were in Palm Springs. Now this is the 60th anniversary of the Freeway Series, which I don't know if the Desert Sun's doing an article on it, but I'm ahead of you.
I'm off. If you did, we did it first.
we did it first, so
we beat
it
you
was
to
cool. Like I just wanted to do, I wanted to make our own Dodger hat, and then we kind of went back and forth and developed it into like let's do an Angel hat too, and then let's just do research and crazy things what you find in the internet.
Yeah.
You just type in Dodger Angel Freeway Series history, and then it pops up. One of the first or second articles that comes up is from the Desert Sun about the game. So. It's cool little shit like that you really wouldn't know. Like I've had conversations with so many people, my parents didn't know. It's the people don't really talk about it because they just don't know.
No, as huge of a baseball fan as I am, I didn't even know that.
It might play like if you have was it Fox Sports LA or Fox Sports Net?
Fox Sports Net, yeah.
Yeah, like probably at 1 a.m. Like the history.
It's those that you always like, hey, you know what's after the game? I'm already trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, you're already trying to go to sleep, and like the history of the Freeway Series between the Angels and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like, shit like that, and you're already either fucking or you're asleep or both.
Or drunk or all of the above.
Yeah.
All the above.
So it's like you don't really know. It's cool though.
It's cool. So we're gonna be dropping this week.
On Saturday.
On Saturday, 4/2/22. 2 2s.
A lot of twos.
A lot of twos are everywhere. So
yeah, 2 2s up. It's 4 the month, April.
Math.
Month. Yep.
We do math on this podcast.
On this podcast, we do math. We don't do English.
Hey, no, in my head I was thinking Boston.
Oh yeah.
Dad.
And this is the first installment, and I'll explain the rivalry series. It was just gonna be a one-time thing, but then we were talking about it. This will be like in between drops of when we do close, and then part 2 of the drop will be another rivalry team.
Yeah,
and then
it isn't
part 3, 4.
Rivalry doesn't have. It's not only just going to end at baseball. It could be a lot of other things.
Yeah.
It might not even have to do with sports. It could be rivalry outside of sports.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to get creative with it. So please be on the lookout. But
Yeah.
just want to do a shameless plug, since this is what this podcast is for. And
Shameless
this platform.
plugs.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So just be on the lookout for the store opening this weekend, guys. All right. So we can get into. Well, I mean, I don't even think I gotta look at my fucking list because let's just talk about it. The slap heard around the world. Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. We all know it. It happened.
As a fellow sassy bitch that's slapped a few people in my life, I can respect it.
But Adam, aren't you supposed to be a sport about these things?
Oh my
What's
God.
wrong with you?
Time and place.
There's a certain decorum you should have,
dude,
out in public at
like,
the Oscars.
I get it.
I think devil's advocate.
But he or she doesn't always need an advocate. But I come from a family where yes and also no. Like if it's something to where like I'm gonna be respectful to your parents.
Yes.
Absolutely. Go. If I'm gonna be respectful to your parents, yes, absolutely. I'll only respect where I'm respected. But if we're over here at an award show where these people have already shown history with the Smith family and the academy,
Yeah.
they really don't like each other. They don't really respect. So yeah, I really don't respect. And second, I mean, it's bad messenger because I'm part white, but fuck these white people. Like I don't care, bro. Like you can only imagine if I put myself into Will's shoes. For the past 2 years, I've been the butt of every joke ever since it came out of mine and my wife's private relationship and agreement that we for sure had behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And I've been the butt of your jokes. And for 2 years, we're back outside. And now I got to hear this shit again. And now you're like, I could take it. Yes. Make fun of me. But the moment, put myself in my shoes, if I see, the matriarch of my family crying or hurt visibly, I have rage.
Sorry.
And I've been in moments of rage and logic, reason, I don't care. You lose sight of even where you're at. Mm-hmm. You just see what you're angry at, what your rage is like channeled at this person. And once it's done, then you realize like, oh, fuck. Like, I fucked up.
And now I got to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, and also, when a person that it can happen like that in a blink of an eye, you accept that, yeah, there's going to be consequences to what I do.
Yeah, but I'll deal with that later.
I'll deal with that after the fact. Like, and that's something that needs to be talked about as well, and people kind of glossing over is, people are very picky and choosy of who they apply mental health to. So imagine you're being ridiculed for 2 years, you can't defend yourself. It's something that got exposed. You're constantly being, whether it be paparazzi, people make fun of the table talk. You try to address things, you get made fun of even more. Imagine what that does to his psyche, his mental health. Mm. And rage isn't something that you can work on.
No.
You can't. You can only work on things when you are like, every day I could work on my diet. Every day I could work on my consistency in the gym. Those are things I can work on every day. It's going to be very few and far between where I experience moments of rage.
Yes. Because it's not like anger management. It's not that Will Smith's an angry person. No. And every person has moments of rage. They have lapse of judgment. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Crimes of passion. They are things that do happen. Mm-hmm. That's why the courts will be like, crime of passion, throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Because only then they understand, like, oh, no, yeah, I get it. I want to kill that motherfucker, too.
Yeah, like, it's just...
Which, by the way, how does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense.
In court, always made me laugh. I was like, really?
If you could prove that it was a crime of passion?
Yeah. Oh, he was fucking my wife, so I had to kill him. I get it, right?
Dude, like, it's one of those things that, like, I can't even imagine what I would do in your situation. Like, if people always say, oh, be the bigger man. Well, I feel like he was the bigger man for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe and by the way,
I think he was a bigger man by just slapping him.
Because people got it twisted. I don't think you guys realize like how big of a person Will Smith is. And
he's small.
He trained from Muhammad Ali. He knows he has probably a boxing background, not just for that movie, but like as a child maybe. Like, yeah, bro. Nobody's afraid. He's not gonna be afraid of whoever's making the joke. It just so happened like it was Chris.
Yeah.
That made that joke. If it was anybody else, who knows? Like, we could play the what if games all we want. What if Chris never even said the joke? What about that what if? What if he never made a joke about Jada's what's alopecia? Like, and I get it. Sometimes I've been in situations where I've made a joke and forget like, oh fuck. Like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, and then after the fact you feel terrible.
And you apologize like, yeah, I'm sorry I made that joke. But after he made the joke, what did he do? He said, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, no, that's just a little jab. Like, he knew very well what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew very well. It's not if I were to make a joke and then realize, like, I've had that moment where I've, like, felt like shit, like, immediate, like, just fucking sink. Of like,
there's no worse feeling. Then you feel like a complete ass. You're all, fuck, why did I say that?
And it's the shittiest feeling because we've talked about it of like, you're just firing back. And then you realize like, oh, fuck, that was it. I just remembered.
Too far, fuck.
Yeah, too far, fuck. And you'll just like, you'll look at that person. Either you go one-on-one or in that moment, you're like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I said that. But he doubled down. He's like, oh, come on, it's not that bad. Like, he almost as if to say, I could have went way worse if I wanted to. This is her and him getting off easy.
So okay, so this is where I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Obviously, these award shows, people go. Mm-hmm. If you've seen in years past, people get roasted. It's kind of how it works. Like you throw little jabs, this and that.
Playful,
right? So, and you could. I want your argument for this. Chris Rock was just throwing a slight little jab. He didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal at Jada, making fun of her hair and her being in G.I. Jane, yada, yada, yada. To that point, which I didn't know this.
Yeah. It's almost like it couldn't – it's almost ironic who the messenger is of this joke. Like, one, he's a black male actor making fun of a black actress. That one – you probably shouldn't be doing at a white Academy Award. Like the Academy's white.
Yes, which by the way, and even if she like, let's say Jada wasn't black, I would never be one to attack a woman's hair because, okay, I know about guys and the receding hairlines and things like that. I don't know shit about fuck with women's hair. I can't attack that.
But the amount of money women spend on their hair, and two, which I'm glad you brought that up. He has a documentary called Good Hair where he celebrates black women and their hair and how much they love it and the importance of it to them.
I had absolute zero.
He travels to where like he found out where people are getting their weaves from.
Oh wow!
And he traveled there to see like how they do this, and like how black women and like the different types of stuff that they do to their hair, like all this stuff, and celebrate how beautiful is it? Good hair. Like we need to celebrate black women's hair, black hair.
Yes.
And
I did not know.
And he makes fun of a black woman who has a disease losing her hair. That she made a video like when after you told me, the video popped in my head of her like talking about her losing her hair.
Yeah.
And imagine how traumatic that is of her going her whole life of like all like that's a part of her.
Yeah.
And now she's robbed of that, of something she can't control. Like guys, LeBron, like I'm sorry, sometimes it's like men, you could go bald. It's fine. It's fine. Or you go to the fucking Dominican Republic and you get hair plugs.
We can figure it out.
For women, that's something completely different.
Yes.
And like you're saying,
but if it was a woman.
Yeah, if it was a woman, like name a female comedian. I'm staying away from Amy Schumer because nobody fucks with her. But like if it was
Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman, or if it was Zendaya, and Zendaya made like a little cute joke. Like that's still walking a very thin line.
But guess what? Jada would look at her as a fellow black woman. She's like, "Oh, I don't think you know what's really going on."
Yeah.
She's not. Jada did not give Chris that pass because one, you're not a woman to understand that joke. Yeah. It's like you got to be very careful and very aware of who and what you're poking at.
The older I get, the more I find poking fun at people's physical things that they can't control, but also like physical appearance, like Colby Covington and how he picks on that reporter and say, "I'm not talking to you. Give me 10 push-ups."
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
fatso.
Yeah, and bro, fuck you. Like, who are you to make that joke to him?
And there's plenty of ways to do that, like not poking fun at somebody, but like try and bring humor to like a situation. Like you'll always hear Kevin Hart like making fun of like how huge Shaq is, knocking shit over, like things like that. But like you never once hear like Kevin Hart talk about like how fat somebody is and making fun of like Rick Ross and his weight or just like stuff like that. There's a way to do things and still be funny. It's Chris Rock didn't need to do that.
He didn't need to do that. And I mean, if Chris Rock would have made fun of, like making fun of Will and maybe like made a comment of like, "Oh, I don't think you used a lot of makeup in King Richard. You're looking pretty old," or something along those lines. That's funny.
Oh well,
that's funny. Like, oh, we're all getting old. That's that's fun. Like, but you're making fun of his wife, and like men are very protective, and I hate the argument of people making like, oh, how come he slapped him and not August Alsina, the guy that Jada had an entanglement with.
Yeah. Well, guess what? August wasn't in front of him.
One, August was in front of him, and two,
doing it to his face.
Two, Will knew about that. Like I don't know if they have it still, but they had an open marriage.
Yeah.
And if you think that Will Smith wasn't fucking other women,
That's
go
cute.
look at the photos of him and Margot Robbie, and you tell me those aren't two people that are fucking. Tell me.
What Will was mad about is the fact that it came to
exactly
the public.
Like it came from August that it came out. If anything, Will probably beat his ass on that principle of like,
yeah,
you shouldn't have said anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I was letting you, like, and don't make it seem like Will was in the room watching the shit.
Yeah, I'm not a cook, my guy.
Yeah, like he's like, no, you can go ahead, like, fuck her, I don't care. I'm gonna go do what I do. We'll be back. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
or
we'll reconvene in a month.
Yeah, we'll reconvene. And it's like I feel bad because like you come out and explain yourself makes you look weak.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what, people are gonna make fun, and it's just bad all the way around. And then people bring up Chris Rock's history and him giving, you know, Louis C.K. a pass to say the N-word, and it's like people start bringing up footage, and then the behalf of the Academy saying like we don't condone that type of violence, but then people bring up footage of when John Wayne wanted to assault an indigenous woman.
It took like 6. Because John Wayne he's a big guy.
Bro, he played football at USC. He's a huge fucking dude.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they needed 6 security guards to hold him back from assaulting this Native American woman.
Yeah.
For speaking about, and which, by the way, I don't know if you guys ever seen them, but if you've seen a lot of these old Westerns, like they dehumanize one.
Yeah.
They always make fun, like, they always talk about, like, Mexicans and their tequila and, like, drunks and all that.
Yeah.
But it was, like, the dehumanization of Native Americans.
Native Americans, exactly.
So, I mean, but we don't want to call that out. Or, oh, by the way, other award winners like Kevin Spacey, like
Harvey Weinstein, that's
Weinstein.
won so many Oscars, and what he was doing that was known.
Mhm.
That everybody in that what would you call it, like a ceremony or knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing.
Question: did Kevin Spacey ever have to give back any of his Oscars? Nope. Oh, so because Will smacked somebody, he has to give back his Oscar? Because there's talking about the Academy.
They're saying he should give it back. Fuck them.
Well, first of all, fuck you. I'm not giving it back. That's what I would say.
If I was Reggie Bush, I wouldn't give back my Heisman.
That's what I thought too. First.
And if I'm Will Smith, no, you're not getting this back.
Hey, me slapping him has nothing to do with my performance and my accolades and all the work that I put into to win this.
Exactly.
Which to me, like one of like the most disheartening thing is, I know you saw the clip of Jim Carrey talking about this and how he was pretty much saying like it was a selfish move on Will's part. He took away from everybody else's like.
It's supposed to be the biggest night of everybody's life.
Yeah, and you made this. You took it upon yourself to be selfish and act this way, and you didn't have to do that. If I was him, I would be suing him
for $200 million.
For $200 million,
because that video is gonna live into perpetuity
forever. Yeah, and I was just hearing like when I heard that, it was just so disheartening because I think Jim and sometimes people don't realize like yes. Sticks and stones. You have to be the bigger man, be a bigger sport.
Have thick skin.
In your world, if that's how you grew up, I understand. I can't fault you for that. But you need to understand that that's not the only world. Like you have to understand. You say certain things. People in the real world, there is consequences. Not Hollywood.
Nobody is above getting slapped.
Yeah. This is not Hollywood world or wherever it was that he grew up or his upbringing. If you say certain things in certain areas, you have to understand. People aren't going to take well to that. You cannot go into certain areas and say certain things.
Bro, and we've been around people like that. This is just like going from our valley to like going out in college and seeing how certain people joke and like they call their homies bitches to their face. And I'm like, are they about to fight right now? And they're like, oh, no, we're just joking. And I'm like, oh, y'all joke real different because if you were saying that to, you know, if we said that amongst ourselves, like that's fighting words.
Yeah, you can't say that.
And it's something that I'm glad is happening, that I'm seeing. Granted, did it need to happen on a nationally syndicated award show? No.
Nah.
But it's showing people like from also the way people are treating Russell Westbrook and
his family.
And his family and sending death threats and like that guy that's multiple people have done this. Like when he played in Toronto, that Canadian dude that went up to him and like, no, Russ, I'm such a huge fan. No, walks away. He's all, hey, Russ, you're a goof, bro. And like, but then when he was in your face, you were afraid he was gonna kick your ass.
By the way, you realize like you see somebody through a TV screen till you realize once they get closer to you, oh, this is a rather large human.
Yeah, and you forget how big these people are.
And by the way, it's top 1% athletes in the world. Yeah. Maybe I don't have a good chance of fighting him.
Yeah, and also Russell Westbrook, born and raised in L.A.
Yeah, but yeah, some people like Russell Westbrook, like Will Smith, come from areas that there's unspoken rules, and I get it. Like, you can't be so sensitive. You have to understand there's other people that understand those things. Yes, but if I have to be understanding of that, then they need to have some understanding as well of like, hey, I can't get mad of everything you say, but you have to understand you have to have some consequences for something you're saying too. It can't be one way or the other.
We've gotten too comfortable of talking shit about people behind a keyboard and facing no consequences of hiding behind the fact of like, oh, it's just a joke. Like, no, we in today's society, like, people take personal jabs at you and they mean for it to hurt your feelings, and then they hide behind that of like, oh, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't take it so serious. It's like, no, you're saying what you really think about me, and you're trying to hurt my feelings, and you're hiding behind the fact of it's just a joke.
Yeah, you're trying to mask it.
You're trying to mask it. It'd be one thing if Will and Jada, like, smacked the shit, or they went to the comedy store, or they went to the Laugh Factory, and they saw, or they went to fucking Chris Rock's show, which he should probably send a thank you card to Will, because now he's selling out his tour because of this.
Yeah, Palm Springs got a huge boost in his sales,
dude.
Which goes to show you, like, hey, he wasn't selling too hot.
He wasn't selling too hot, and now he helped him sell out his whole tour. He should send a bouquet, fucking candies, a thank you card saying, you know what, you saved my career.
Yeah.
Because I probably wasn't gonna sell out a lot of these dates. But even though, on top of that, if they were at his show and he's made that joke, he wouldn't have rushed the stage.
No, because guess what? You signed up for that.
You signed up for it.
You sign up to comedy shows, tours, knowing, hey, if something gets directed my way, it's all in good fun. The intention is for everybody to have a great time.
Yeah.
The intention for us to make jokes. And you know what? I have to accept that, because guess what? I'm an audience member. I signed up for this.
You know what you signed up for.
And guess what? It's not on national television.
Yeah. And Will, in that scenario that I'm creating, because we're doing a lot of what ifs, he probably would have went backstage and said, like, hey, you know, like, maybe take that joke out of your bit. I don't know if you're doing it just because we're here, or you're just doing crowd work, or how it's going, but yeah, we don't feel comfortable you making that joke. That would have been a mature way to handle it. Had Chris been mature and not try to make fun of a black woman on national syndicated television that's the world can see. It's not just, you know, a fucking regional thing and only, you know, 1,000 people were here and saw it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, people need to understand there's consequences for what you say, for your actions. Every action has a reaction, and you can't control what the reaction is. I could say, I fucking hate this red hat. And it might hurt your feelings because you might have emotional connection, and I can't control how you react to me talking shit about a hat.
No.
And at that point, it's in the air and it's open for interpretation. Now I must suffer whatever becomes of it.
Yes.
And it may seem harmless to me, but I'm also I'm ignorant to the fact of your feelings, your emotion. I'm totally being dismissive and invalidating your thoughts, opinions, and emotions.
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking that away from you of like, you can't react to whatever I'm saying because I'm holier than thou because I'm a comedian. Well, maybe you're just not fucking funny.
Yeah. Because I'll say this. I did see, like, David Spade, which, of course, I mean, well, hey, when was the last great tour David Spade had?
I don't even know if he's ever had one.
That's what I mean. He tweeted, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, every comedian doesn't have the entire medical history of the entire audience.
No.
Well, I mean,
not every person's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Not that, and also, well, I've seen people, like, there's ways to do things. Like, you can make funny jokes without being hurtful. Like, that's a skill. Like, okay, Kevin Hart has, like, always attacked people. Not attack people. Always, like, think about when he talks about Shaq, him being so big. And
he's very good at dancing around the thin line.
Yes, and that's a skill. And why do you think Kevin Hart is in the way he is? And he's
perfect for award shows.
He's perfect for that. Chris Rock, maybe not so much.
Chris Rock's always been the very, which is, it's still funny. Like, if you go back to his old stand-ups, it's very much attacking, pointing out the obvious, and deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. This is what it is.
And you saying that made me think of something. You think the Oscars would have Dave Chappelle host a show?
You think that he would ever? Well, first of all, he would never say yes.
No, I know. But that goes to the extent of, like, Chris Rock is not along those lines of Dave Chappelle, but similar styles of comedy in that aspect. Obviously, Dave's a lot better storyteller in how he does things. But Chris Rock is that style. So the Oscars should have had some fucking knowledge of, like, hey, you know, maybe he's not the best guy for this. There's certain comedians that do well in certain areas.
And this is one thing I'll go back to that later. But remember with what is his name's escaping me right now. the actor that played Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
Exactly. That's his name. It was escaping me. But people were making fun of his appearance in at some award show, or like he came out in an interview, or people saw him in public and like they were making fun of how he looked.
Yeah, or
not knowing what
he was tired. Yeah.
Yeah, saying, "Oh, he needs to get some sleep." This and that, not knowing he's battling cancer.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are battling behind closed doors, nor is it your fucking business. It's not your business whether he's battling cancer or she has a disease that she has no control of. But what is your business is you're not allowed to make fun of my struggle, my disease.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you can't make fun of. I can make fun of it. If Jada wanted to make fun of it, she could make fun of it. But obviously, if she's never made a joke about it or anything like that, probably shouldn't joke about it. And I don't like people are jumping to the defense, and I don't think people understand you're a white voice talking about a conflict amongst black people.
Yes.
Like, one of my favorite comedians, Tom Segura, he said the bitch is bald. As a white man, you should never be talking about a black woman. Like, in this situation, one, shut the fuck up. Two, if you're gonna say something, don't call her a bitch. And he did. And it made me lose respect of, like, you guys are fighting so hard for the sake of a joke, right? But can we all just agree it wasn't funny?
Yeah.
Like, at the bare bones of it, all right, maybe she just shaved her head, right? She doesn't have the disease. Do we really think G.I. Jane's funny? Like, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. And people didn't really laugh. It was almost like a forced laugh.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't fun. I didn't even find it funny, and I didn't even know about the disease.
No.
Like, it skipped my mind. So it's like, bro, your joke wasn't funny. At the bare bones of it. And everyone's clamoring to defend, sake of a joke. Have we gotten so soft as a country? Have we done this? Like, Will Smith, he should be ashamed of how he disrespected this. It's a national TV show. Donald Trump's son said this. The same guy whose father said he would fuck his daughter
Yeah.
if she wasn't his daughter. And he said this on a national TV syndicated interview. Like, people don't realize the dirt that comes up from you just speaking. Like, don't throw stones when you live inside a glass house. Be very aware, and also look at yourself in the mirror. Should I even be saying something?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me. Like, it's just a hot topic, and all these other people, and I'll speak for this aspect of it, of people jump into the defense of like, we need to protect our black women, knowing damn well the music that you create and all the stuff that you perpetuate
does everything
but protect black women. Doesn't protect women in general.
Mm-hmm.
You have lines in your music about fucking drunk women. Like, let's just take, like, how about you take a seat? I understand you want to look good and you want people to get all these retweets and people to be on your side, and you want to be like, yeah, no, let's stand for this.
Yeah.
The same people that fake advocate for Black Lives Matter, the same people that fake advocate for what's going on in Ukraine, and they don't care. They just want to make themselves look good. It's just, it's fucking disgusting, but it's the epitome of America.
Yeah.
The epitome of it. Like, we talk about, what's the name of the movie of the asteroid coming and hitting the earth?
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. That movie was a microcosm of exactly how America works.
Yep. And
people will flip flop. Same thing with the Kanye documentary. They'll praise you, they'll hate you, whatever they feel is going to appease the masses is what they're going to do without even realizing. And yes, people have the ability to change, and you're not, beholden to what you did in the past. You're not your past, but at the same time, you shouldn't be speaking on this topic right now.
No. And my whole thing, look, like I said, it's all about intention setting. Context is very important in all these situations.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to understand, one, this is a national televised audience. There's going to be millions of people watching. It's a big thing. Okay. Maybe now is not the best time. There's ways to do things. As a man, I cannot talk about a woman's appearance, like her makeup or whatever, because guess what? I don't know shit about fuck about that. Mm-hmm. Especially you talking about a woman's hair is the equivalent of you, and this is as fucking black and white as I could put it. You talking about a woman's hair is the same thing as if he went out there and made fun of Adele for being fat at one point. Yeah. That's the same fucking joke.
Yeah.
And there should be no difference. And as a man, you need to have that awareness. And and you said he may have had a fucking documentary on this, he should have known that.
You
So that's
don't-
why I can't give him a pass, because
Yeah.
there's certain things you can and cannot talk about. You cannot talk about a woman's hair. You can't talk about her weight. You can't talk about her age. Like, there's certain things. Now, there's ways around that that you can kind of dance that. But hey, if it's about a dress or if it's about the shoe, she's like, there's little things you could kind of do. And guess what? Like, those shoes or that dress or something. Like, you know what? I mean, it's not. It's not personal. Like, it's just something that you wore and this and that.
You're attacking someone's insecurity.
Yeah.
Then you think you're being funny about it.
It's like you talk about her weight, you talk about her chest, her ass, or this. Like, hey, there's certain things you can't say as a man.
Yeah.
Hey, hair's one of them.
And also, I saw this argument. This perspective brought up. Are we in such an uproar because it's the Oscars? Like, if this was done at the MTV Movie Awards or the BET Awards, would that have been more acceptable?
They would have been like, eh.
And that's the issue as well. Is like, to you people that are complaining, you're upset that he did this at the Oscars. Not even the act. And if he would have, like, say I get an altercation at the Latino Grammys. You know what white people are going to say? Oh, we can't have that here.
No.
Good thing he did that over there.
Yeah.
Because he can't do that here. Do you know how racist that sounds?
And one racist, but two entitled.
Yes. I
guys-
go to race first. Entitled is a given with the race. With racism, entitlement is implied. You're saying, "Oh, I got to keep my mess in my house," is what you're telling me.
Yeah, because people are fucking stupid. I hated the whole argument. Like, he should address this after the fact, after like backstage or maybe at after party. I was like, you think you can insult somebody and they're gonna go ahead and just, oh, you know what?
They're gonna have the wherewithal.
Oh, I'm gonna wait a few hours for this to boil over.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
And I saw some people saying, like, I would have been like, which fair, sensible reaction. Him just scream, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth" from his seat.
It's appropriate to me.
That would have been, you know what, the lesser of two evils, I guess, if you want to put it that way. If you're gonna do it, at least just from your seat, say it like that. Don't go up there and slap him.
Yeah.
But also, in a moment of rage, is he gonna know that, hey, I should just sit right here and just shout it? Like, no. He can. I've been in moments of rage where I can't even talk. I can't speak.
Absolutely.
And after I get it out, then I could formulate 5 words.
Maybe
if that, and I might sound like
you might sound like a child. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody's
I don't
been
talk
there.
good.
Yeah. No good I talk?
No good I talk, bro. Like, I'll be in a rage and like words will come out. Maybe a pitch in my voice might change. And that's just rage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being angry is different. Angry, you can convey being angry. You can convey being infuriated. Rage is seeing red and nothing else.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Will Smith didn't care about any cameras. He didn't care about audiences. He didn't care about he didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice, it comes to what life actually is.
Exactly.
You and me in front of each other and respect. That's what happens.
And
life is not the internet. That's not the real world.
And he finally mustered the words when he sat down. But then I think people are missing this fact too, of Chris had a genuine reaction, but he still didn't realize he was wrong.
No.
He's just like, "Oh my God, are you serious?
Like, relax.
Relax." And then Will's like, "Oh, you're still not understanding how serious I am."
Yeah.
And you've seen my dad. You can only imagine the arguments that go at my house. Like, when he's serious when he hits a certain pitch in his voice, and then after that, it's like, oh, this dude's he's gone.
Yeah.
You have to let the fucking bull just tear up whatever he's about to tear up right now. If he goes for a drive, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he goes into the garage, just leave him be, because right now you don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. Of you brought this point. We were outside this office wondering if this shit was real or staged.
Yes.
But I realized it was real when Chris didn't know what he was saying. He didn't know what to say afterwards. Like,
he was looking around.
He's like looking at the producers of, like, you guys are just gonna let him hit me, and we're not gonna cut to commercial. We're not gonna
escort him out of here.
Like, all right. Well, we're still going. Like, and in that moment, if I was Chris, this is just my brain. now I'm really realizing you don't give a fuck about me
Yeah.
either.
Because there's nothing like he should never have been able to be in the position to accept his Grammy.
Yeah.
In like
Oscar.
or his Oscar shortly after.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
if that.
And his reaction of like, okay, wow, that was the greatest moment in TV history. We're giving out a documentary. Like, in that moment, I realized like, oh, that's
so
real.
Bad.
That's real. Because if it was scripted, he would have known what to say. He wouldn't have missed a beat.
Yeah.
But since it was a genuine fucking reaction of like, oh, bro, like, yeah. And I've been in those situations where I've seen like somebody talking like they're not gonna get approached, and they just get checked just with words.
Yeah.
And then bitch up, like,
because they already could tell a change in the atmosphere, like a change, like whether it's a different pitch or it's a facial expression. It doesn't take much for people to understand.
And if we did a video breakdown, who's to say Will wasn't walking up there to like bring it in close? I will beat your fucking ass in front of all these white people if you don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and respectfully just back down.
And walked away, right? But when he was walking up, what was Chris doing? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a joke.
So now you're testing his manhood.
Then it's like, oh, now I have to hit you.
Yeah. I don't want. And by the way, I'm still in the belief of him smacking him.
He got off easy.
It was like him being graceful about it.
Yeah.
I don't know much people. It's hard for me to rationalize because I can't imagine like if that was your dad, if it was my dad, if it was somebody in our community that you talked about you talk about their wife.
Yeah.
How does that end?
Hey,
I'm not an advocate for violence, for gun violence, none of that.
I'm an
advocate is if you say something and you're disrespectful about it and you get your ass kicked, and that's all it is an ass kicking. You wash your hands clean of that. That's fine.
I'm an advocate for proper consequences.
Yes.
That would be a proper I've seen my dad actually spared somebody just because it was my grandma's ex-husband, current husband at the time.
Yes.
And my dad just shoved him. Dad could have knocked him out.
That was a courtesy.
Shove him of like, what the fuck what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that was if Will would have shoved Chris, and that probably would have been that I think that's the next step over slapping.
Yeah.
Is like a hard if he would have shoved him with all his strength. He didn't even slap him with all his strength.
No.
First and foremost.
No.
Didn't slap him with all his strength. These fingers.
Hey,
I've been in that situation.
It came from right here.
Yeah, bro. I've been in that situation, bro. Just quick slap. Like, what the? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you fucking stupid? Like, do you know what I can do to you right now?
Yeah.
That type of thing. And for him, it's just a quick slap of like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
You're my bitch now.
Yeah.
And granted, you took it like a champ. You got a strong fucking chin, but now you're my bitch. So let's
here on out.
For here into this life and the next, Chris Rock is my bitch. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. And you know, I honestly think that the people on Twitter had such a problem with it because
they're a bunch of bitches.
Well, yes, because their life is Twitter and they think life is the internet.
Yeah.
They forget that many times. The way you talk on social, like I think social media fucked up people's perspective in terms of wherewithal of what you can and cannot say.
Before that, Call of Duty Modern Warfare chat rooms or like the online Xbox Live was the step into that carried over to Twitter,
into social media, all of it of like, oh, you know, dude, it's just like it's a joke. You can't take certain things. It's like no. Never before that, never before online, before internet, before these chat rooms, were you able to say what you said about people you didn't know, or even people you did know.
And if you did say that, like, you knew that if you said it, there was a possibility of us fighting.
Yes,
a high possibility. Like you picked and chose like where if you said that shit, you have to stand on it. And if you bitched up about it, and somebody checked you. At that point, everybody lost respect. You're a bitch now.
Yeah.
Until people will bring that up for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what? You gotta live with that now.
You gotta live with that. Like, hey, do you remember when fucking Steve like went straight pussy because he got checked by Omar?
Yeah.
Oh, that shit happened in second grade. He's still a bitch though.
Hey. hasn't proven otherwise.
And he hasn't proven, and probably will never prove me wrong.
No.
And if I say that, I know that fucking Steve might fuck me up.
Yeah.
And he might have learned how to fight from second grade to now.
Yeah. But guess what? I understand that because I'm making that conscious decision of talking about it.
Exactly. And if he does, it's like, bro, it's social. It's not construct, but it's like social. Just interactions. We don't understand. Like, a lot of people have lost grip of consequences, of triggering words, of what happens, of what things you can and can't say, just because people hide behind screens.
Yeah. The way kind of I've always saw it is like there was a social contract that everybody signs when they grow up in the world, and especially in your environment. We've those lines and those social contracts have blurred because the world isn't really the real world because of social media. Shout out Pharrell. The real life isn't what social media is, and we forget that. And I feel like I'm glad this happened to this small extent because I hope people understand now. And this is a really good point. I just thought about this. Colby Covington, MMA fighter, notorious for talking about people's religion, their family.
I didn't even have that as a topic.
Yeah. The worst of the worst when it comes to shit talking against another man who's about to fight. Now, this is a whole persona. People know this. It's a way to sell a fight. That's what he thinks in his head. Majority of the world absolutely hates the fact that he's doing this persona because not a lot of people actually like it. It's very bad.
And it doesn't sell as much as he would lead you to believe.
No. So it's at this point, it's not helping and you're making it worse. So now guess what happened? He got in a fight with Jorge Masvidal. This was an organized event. Like, they had a whole UFC pay-per-view. Said so much shit about his family. And he knew, look, because they were really good friends, roommates, all this and that. There's a chance I'm gonna have to deal with this later. And guess what happened? After the fight happened, he posted his location of where he was, like at a restaurant or club.
He was with the Nelk boys.
Yeah, got his fucking tooth kicked in, and guess what? Now he's
pressing charges.
Now he's trying to press charges. Well, hey, bro. You want to talk about my family? And people are like, oh, well, he had
25 minutes. Where was all that for 25 minutes? All right, look.
In a sanctioned event. Street fight and UFC event, very different.
Very fucking different. This is a sanctioned fight going on. There's strategy. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I got gloves. I have protection.
I have gloves. Maybe not that much. Jorge didn't look in the greatest of his peak shape. Yes. What I've seen Jorge be. Regardless. If you say shit about my wife, bringing my kids, I'm not really religious, but if you brought in my religion, it's on site for the rest of until I die or until you die.
Yes, and that's what people forget. Like, oh, he had 25 minutes. It should have been settled there. Wait, what? Bro, we know who. I'm not going to say who, but we know people that had a long life, pretty much feud, that fought like 6-7 times. Because guess what? When you hate each other, it's never going to be enough.
It's hate.
It's the same thing as, look, it's very much alike with love. When you love somebody that much, you're never going to be able to
they come from the same place.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to love them as much as you want.
Love and hate it derives from the same place.
And guess what? When you hate somebody, there's never going to be enough hate you can give them.
Oh, bro, never. And that's the thing too, is like he forgets, like he's talking in this made up world in which he created. He's trying to be Conor McGregor, which Conor had an answer for his shit too. People forget that.
Yeah.
Of him and Khabib.
Yeah, when that whole brawl happened afterward with his teammates.
People forget about this aspect of it too. So to go back to Conor, talking all that shit about Khabib. Khabib caught his homie Artem, and their homies jumped him.
Smacked him around.
To where Conor got on a flight from Ireland.
With about 10 other fucking Irishmen.
All the way to New York and threw a dolly at, like, people forget that was the catalyst to that incident, right? Because, and those are two people that understand, like, okay, there's consequences in the real world. Like, we're talking shit, but I mean that shit. You, Colby, you're talking shit and you don't mean any of it.
Yeah. You can't.
So now guess what?
You have to die on that sword.
Now, Colby, outside of this octagon, has to maneuver in life with everything Colby, the character, said.
Yes. So that social media thing that you like building up, and even during press conferences, Again, those press conferences aren't real life because guess what? There's people, there's security,
There's and they keep them on the opposite
Yes.
sides. There's about fucking 300 foot of stage,
Yes.
or 100 and something foot of stage. Like
There's-
people are gonna stop you before you get there.
There's nothing you can do. So that
Yeah.
again, that's not real life. What is real life? When there is nobody between me and yourself. No, and by the way, guess what? Nobody's gonna come.
Oh, and all your homies that you're posting with, they didn't defend you.
And because guess what? They don't want you to get their ass kicked.
Yeah,
So what are you gonna? So now this is my whole thing. That's real life.
yeah.
Like nobody's gonna come save you.
Mhm.
There's not gonna be anybody here to help you. So guess what? If I kick your teeth in, I could keep kicking them in until I want to stop.
And people forget. Jorge said this in an interview. There's been
Yeah.
plenty of times where people have called me and said, "Your boy is here,"
Yeah. And he's gone.
and no. He said that, and Jorge said, "Let him live," because he's not trying to fuck up his chance of actually fighting him in the octagon, messing
Yeah.
up money. Like that's where he put business over. Like we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
I don't need to fight him. Then what's the point of us fighting?
Yeah. But guess what?
But
he got his money now.
Now the fight happened.
Yeah.
I renewed my UFC contract. Now it's free game. I'm still gonna be on contract no matter what.
Yeah.
And if I get arrested, so be it. It's not the first time I got arrested.
No.
It'd probably be the first time you've got arrested. It might be the first time you've ever experienced this outside of the octagon,
Mhm.
where somebody actually pressured you. I remember the video of Kamaru calling Colby a bitch to his face
Yeah.
when they weren't even fighting. It was just
Oh, I just saw him like tense up.
tense up and
'Cause
like
you-
look and like wait for somebody to get around him.
Yeah.
It's like it's shit like that. So yes, there's consequence for your action. Also, just be full and well aware, like you don't know what that person's capable of, and if you do know what that person's capable of, you probably should operate on something of respect.
Yeah. Just
And-
that's how everybody should operate through life. Look, I would never. I'm not the type of guy to go out to bars and fucking mad dog people because guess what? I don't know what people are capable of. I would hate for somebody to think I'm looking at them the wrong way.
Or that guy acts like be a shot caller.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, well, guess what? He might get me killed for no
Remember when
reason.
Rosarito and you're like, Adam, do not look behind you.
I told you, I was like, fucking,
Do-
hey,
do
bro,
not.
fucking keep it at 12 o'clock. Do not look at your 6.
Like, don't look over there. I'm like, why? Like, you see the bunch of girls right there? Like, I'm so looking. He's like, don't look because there's a dude there, and I can't tell you for sure, but he obviously doesn't want to be seen for a reason.
yeah, I was like, let's just operate on the assumption that we shouldn't look that way.
And I was like, you know what?
And
Hey, so be it. I'm in a foreign country where I could be buried somewhere and nobody will ever hear from me.
no, never, not once again. Happens every day.
Have some level of knowing where you're at. Respect people. Like, I know if I'm talking, I'd like to talk shit. I'm not gonna say anything about somebody's mom, their girl, their kids, nothing like that. I'll make fun of how you dress.
I'll make fun of your shoes. I'll make fun of your shirt. Like, there's certain things you could do, which, again, that's what Chris could have. Could
Yeah.
have made fun of her shoes, a
Mhm.
dress, a fucking accessory, her eyeliner. I don't know, fucking pick anything.
Yeah,
You can't make, hey, bro, leave people's bodies alone. Leave the bodies out of it,
yeah.
especially with women.
Bodies, and if you're gonna just don't attack people's wives, moms, kids. Like, there's
In front of them.
in front.
Bro,
Yeah.
hey, crazy. I don't see anybody ever attack Jay-Z's wife, aka Beyonce.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever do that?
And
Ask yourself why.
And also,
Ask yourself why.
there's bad blood. Apparently, Chris Rock has bad blood with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because he's, I guess, made jokes about Beyonce as well.
Doesn't shock me.
And she looked happy as could be that Will slap.
Oh, I saw the photos.
And
I saw.
and people, you're seeing clips of Denzel and Tyler Perry comforting Will. Nobody comforted Chris.
Because they knew who was in the wrong here.
Chris, and that's why everybody hates Chris.
Yes. Hey, speaks for itself.
Knocked it out the park. They hate him for a fucking reason.
Knocked it
Chris
out the park.
talks too much shit. All my entendres, they just hit.
He does talk too much shit. And you know what? He's not that good enough to do it.
Not anymore, because
No.
I saw his most recent stand-up. I think it was like live at the Tambourine or something, and I was like, I'm 20 minutes in. I don't even know. I'm probably gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
And some people liked it, some people didn't.
Let's be a lesson to the Academy of, hey, let's think about next time who we're gonna have up there. People like Kevin Hart. Hey, look, this the really good example, and people hated him. Ricky Gervais,
Mm-hmm.
because he went in on the fucking
On Hollywood's
on
elite.
everybody there
Mm-hmm.
to their face.
I think this is the word after Harvey Weinstein's whole thing came up.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Like, he went in on people. And look, you could say, like, what he was saying was he meant that shit. That was
Mhm.
hurtful. But he's
Mhm.
like, hey, you fucking idiot celebrities. you don't know about the real life. Just shut the fuck up and stay the fuck out of it. Like
Yeah.
he said fuck you to everybody there.
Mhm.
And guess what? It was talked about a lot, but you can't say he was not a good host. Like people laughed.
Yeah.
He did have other good jokes. He
Mhm.
made fun of things like in broad. Like there's ways to do it. You could even be hurtful, but you could be still funny about it because you're doing things in the broad, like certain things that
It's
apply.
generalities.
But when you
It doesn't-
take,
yeah.
you have to be very careful at the academy of who you pick, because if those people take certain jabs, you better know that they're good at doing it.
Like
Kevin Hart doing it, good at doing
like
it.
Keegan Michael Key when he hosted the NFL awards.
Killed. Okay, by the way, and those NFL athletes could murder him.
At any moment.
Hey, but he does it with such a grace and such like good intentions
Mhm.
that he knows like the fine line to walk around, that nobody gets mad. Everybody just laughs, and it's the greatest of time.
Yeah.
So maybe they need to have more awareness next time of who we're gonna bring in.
Yeah, and I remember for people arguing for the sake of a joke, I remember Ari Spears debating because trigger warning, this comedian made a rape joke,
Yes.
and it's not Ari Spears, it's Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal said, "I'm not arguing that the joke was good. I'm arguing for the sake of having the opportunity to make the joke. Maybe it was just a bad joke."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, what's a good rape joke?" He's like, "I don't know. I haven't thought of it, but I'm sure it probably does exist or somewhere." But whatever he said, probably just a terrible joke.
Yeah.
And if we can just agree
It
that
was a terrible joke.
it was a terrible joke, then I think we could all move past it
Yes.
and understand, like, if we're gonna make fun of that situation, you're gonna poke fun. You got to come with a better joke.
Yes.
To where it's like, fuck, I can't even help but laugh.
Yeah. Like, let's acknowledge Chris Rock failed. You suffered consequence for it.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
You got slapped. He might have got slapped because it was just a terrible joke.
Maybe that was a knee slapper, but
Yeah.
face slapper.
It was
in
a
that
face
case.
slapper. It was a
In that
rock
case.
slapper, you know?
Slapping rocks.
Did you see that Chris Rock's brother was in the audience and couldn't believe it? Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And he didn't stand up for him?
He didn't stand up for him.
Oh, my God.
Because even he knew he was wrong.
The ultimate rock.
The ultimate rock.
He's like, I ain't going to hold this down. You going to hold
He's
that
like,
down
"Nah,
yourself.
He's all Hancock got that.
Hey, that came from a place of Hancock.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah,
I don't know. Let this be a lesson to people. I'm not glad that things like this happen, but I'm glad that people get reminded that there's still a different world out there
Mhm.
that's called the real world.
And in this real world, a lot of new music dropped.
A lot.
I've been currently on
I know.
repeat.
Hey, by the way, I know Ella May's dropping a new one.
She is?
Yeah, she is.
Buddy's project is phenomenal.
I don't know who this buddy guy is, but I just you played a song for me and I was kind of dying of laughter because of what he was saying.
He was on Revenge of the Dreamers.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm. He's known for like doing guest verses and hooks, and he's been on Nipsey's. He was on Victory Lap.
Mm-hmm.
The name's escaping me of the song he was on, but it was a big song. I think no, it's not Keys to the City. But the album, Super Ghetto, phenomenal. Loved it. I think it was on like 9 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Really great. But one artist I wanted to speak on is that I thought was what she said in an interview was Lotto.
Yes.
She had her I hope if it's not her debut album, I'm sorry, but she had an album come out and she was in an interview talking about how there's a song on the album with a featured artist and it was almost not on the album because he did not want to clear it unless he fucked. And she said this on Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Sounds a little Weinstein to me.
And she was bringing to light a lot of people's favorite artists do that with female artists.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not, I mean, people know of like, you know, guys bringing girls to the studio saying like, oh, you know, let's work on your project and stuff like that happens. But she's saying it.
Yeah.
And she's saying no, and she didn't name the artist, which people are doing the deepest of dives trying to figure out because the song did make the album.
Yeah.
And that
So now
artist,
now you're curious.
Now you're curious, and when you name them, you're like, well, I know she's with 21 Savage, so obviously wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
It could only be, and she's like, it's a big artist, and you're looking like, well, she has nothing but big artists on the album,
Yeah.
so it could be anybody. But it's almost it's that type of shit is really really fucking corny to me.
Yeah.
Same thing of we've heard of like photographers trying to fuck models.
Yeah. Corny as shit.
Corniest shit ever. And you being an artist, this is business.
Mm-hmm.
You're a recording artist, and you're not gonna clear your verse for her album until y'all fuck.
Yeah.
First of all, who do you think you are? 2, bold assumption that she would ever want to fuck you, and 3, that's fucking predatory.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like the same standard that we're gonna hold Harvey Weinstein to of him being an absolute scum of the earth. I don't know what artist that is. Look, I don't care about race. I don't care about anything. I don't care who it is. If you act like that, you have to be treated like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
If you're gonna act that predatory, guess what? I never want you. Nobody wanted Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood after it all came to fruition. If this does come to fruition and it comes to the public of who this actually is, I never want them. I would hope that nobody ever supports that person ever again, because that's disgusting.
It's sad, and
like it's yeah.
And for her to come out, that's one thing I wanted to get across as well.
She's brave for saying
is the bravery of her saying that because of what it could do to her career, that she came out and said and was out in the open with it. Like, I'm pretty sure there's other female artists that are like probably reached out to her and said thank you so much. Like, I've experienced this as well. And
think about all the ones that didn't make it because of that. Because that shit happens every day. You know it does.
Yeah.
Same thing with actresses, models. Like, it happens every day.
Happens every day. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. And if it ever does come out, I doubt it ever will.
Dude, and it's so crazy to me because I don't understand how those people think like that flex is what it is. Like if you're Lotto, you're all, oh, you're not gonna clear our shit because you can't, like, oh, so you must not get bitches. Why would I?
Oh, you could always tell.
Like, why would I want to be with somebody that we've said it all the time? Like, obviously, it's not always the case, but when people are attracted to you, there's people that find that attractive. Like, I want somebody that's very wanted. Some people do, some people don't. But the fact of the matter is, he clearly does not get a lot of women. If he does, now I know that this is how. So if you're a lot of girl, why would I want to be with somebody like that? You think that's a turn on for me?
It gives, and I'm binge watching. I'm almost done with Vikings, but it gives very medieval fucking behavior.
Absolutely.
Like in the show, there's certain things of like, trigger warning again, rape. There's you can be this. It's power plays of like, you have to fuck me and I'll change your life. I'll free you as a slave if you fuck me. And it's like, bro, that was in 1850 AD. We're in 2022 and that shit's still going on like it's never missed a beat.
Yeah.
Like it's just fucking it's sad. Oh damn, this is a really somber podcast, but like
no, it's great, but like it's real things that have been going on in the world. Like, hey, guess what? I'm not saying COVID's gone. What I'm saying is people are outside more. These things are gonna keep happening. Like we talked about it, like when COVID started like going down and people started going back outside again, little by little. Like we saw people like their intensity was fucking insane because they don't know how to operate now. Like it's gonna take time, and you know what? I hope that this be a learning lesson for everybody. People need to figure out what the fuck the real world actually is amongst people. That's why, to me personally, that's why social media is not my thing. But people need to figure out, like, we need to operate differently.
Yeah, we got to relearn a lot of things and dead a lot of old ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about the Batman?
I don't believe so.
I don't think
we talked about it a little, but we didn't see it at that point.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
Which, by the way, we saw it. Fantastic
Phenomenal movie. I know a lot of people didn't like it. Me personally, didn't feel like 3 hours. My biggest critique is I could have done with, I feel, me personally, that Batman and Bruce Wayne are two different people.
There's a contrast.
There has to be, like, when you, in The Dark Knight, he's supposed to be an eccentric billionaire.
He's Bruce Wayne. He fucking buys hotels, banks, like,
exactly.
He's fucking Bruce Wayne.
Christian Bale, fucks. Robert Pattinson, sad all the way around.
Yeah. Like it was too consistent across the board.
Mhm.
Like we need the yin and the yang.
Mhm.
We need the yin and the yang. I need to see both sides.
Even when he's in the club, he looks depressed.
Yeah, he was sad all the way around.
Yeah.
And look, I loved how dark it was because it reminded me of like animated Batman.
Yeah.
Or like Batman, like the video games. Like I loved the fact that it played into how dark and gothic like the Batman world could be. I love that shit, even with like the villains. Like,
well, it's because
with
Batman,
like Penguin and all that.
Batman is technically, people viewed him as a villain.
Yeah.
He's a vigilante.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Matt Reeves, maybe, hindsight 2020, he could have been like, maybe Bruce Wayne frequents Penguin's club just to fuck these guys up afterwards.
Yeah, which would have been crazy.
Like, he's the insider. He's the insider, like, listening to all this. He's like, oh, Bruce Wayne, he's a part of the nightlife, this and that.
He would never go against us. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but he's in there, like, slowly but surely fucking everyone up and bringing all their dirt to light. And he's the last person you would think of because he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he's Bruce. That's the last guy I would think would ever do
Hey,
this.
that's fucking wacky Bruce.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey callback.
Yes.
But, like, that was the only downside to me. I know a lot of people have their thoughts and opinions. What was your thought and opinion?
I love the fact of one, like I said, it reminded me of like the animated Batman series. It was that very dark feel, which I love Dark Knight, but it didn't give me that. That was very high in like production and CGI, and it seemed like almost larger than life. When I saw this movie, it felt like all that shit was going on was so realistic.
It felt so grimy, dirty,
and real.
Yeah.
Like, not saying a lot of the technology and stuff that was used like in The Dark Knight, like it's like stuff like that were just so like out of touch with reality. Like when I saw him, there's a scene where Robert Pattinson's in the jail cell and there's like 40 fucking cops surrounding him. The last Batman, I'm like, oh,
he would have got out of it.
He would have got out of it. But this one, it's like, no, he's fighting his way, and then he's gonna realize like, fuck, I can't fight my way out of this. Like, I loved the fact of how real it was, and even then, it still felt like at any moment he could fail. And there was a lot of like when there was a part when he ate shit because of the bridge. Like, I rarely saw that out of the other one.
The only time he did was the one with Bane, where he's trying to make it out of the pit, yeah. and he would constantly fail.
Yeah,
that was the only time you saw him as a human, like the human, like Batman's supposed to be larger than life, the vigilante, but he's still a human at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and when with fucking Ben Affleck's Batman, like that was just way deep into like the fucking he's an eccentric billionaire, but also like Batman's just so like fucking rich and has like these crazy I love Batman's fucking car.
Yeah.
That's how realistic the movie was to me. It was like, oh yeah, he would just drive a murdered out fucking Mustang,
old school car,
souped up, and
crazy suspension on it.
Yeah, it's a rat rod.
Yeah,
which I love rat rods.
It reminded me of something I would have saw out of fucking Mad Max. I'm like, this shit's awesome. And again, realistic. I love the fact of how this Batman was like grounded because he was a lot like everybody else.
Yeah,
like he walked amongst everybody else. Like he operated like that. Bruce Wayne didn't.
Yeah,
or at least in the Dark Knight and all the other ones, like he didn't. Like,
and I wouldn't have minded if this Bruce Wayne was that as well. Like,
no,
if he was the eccentric billionaire and party boy, my parents were rich, they're dead now. I'm just a fucking quote unquote druggie, but he never did drugs. He just pretended to.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to get dirt on everybody, and he's like infiltrating the dark web of Gotham.
Yeah.
Which I probably just gave Matt Reeves a great idea if you ever saw our videos.
Hey, check us out, Matt.
But I think that would have been a way better, like, oh fuck, this dude's in deep.
Yes.
And then say one of the Penguin finds out that it's him.
Ooh, now we got a
now you got him. Now so I got you underneath my fucking wing right now.
Yeah. So now guess what? Now Batman's gonna have to get even more grimier.
Get grimier because Penguin's about to extort me.
Dude, it's gonna get crazy. That's ideally that's what you want. I did also love the fact that they talked more about Arkham. Like, I love the fact
the connection of the Waynes and Arkham.
Yeah, with Martha apparently being a part of the.
Why'd you say that name?
Martha, Bruce's mom, being a part of the Arkham family. And I did love the fact that the Riddler was in there. Barry Keoghan, shout out Barry Keoghan, phenomenal. He was the Joker. They deleted his scene. But I love the fact, like, in Suicide Squad, they had more about Arkham than fucking any other Bruce or Batman.
I feel
which personally, I love that. Like, I would love to see like the pit of where all these, the worst of the worst is. Like, I want to see.
You get that in the video game.
Yes.
In the video game, you get that because Asen loves fucking Arkham Asylum, but
That's what I mean. It's
the
so
video game Arkham Asylum,
so good.
I'm glad
There's so
they're
much you
gonna
can do with that.
venture into that
Yes.
universe, and I hope that what's his name,
Barry Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan he's not gonna be the main villain
No.
in the next film, and I like how you have the Riddler, Joker for cameo scenes. You have Penguin. You have what's the guy's name? The boss, Falcone in there. You have Catwoman. You're merging the universe, and it's more than just one villain.
Yeah.
It's multiple, and you're giving them little tiny storylines, so that way, like, now Falcone's he's dead and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is Penguin's rise to fame now.
Yes.
And Penguin, he's not a snitch, he's not a rat. He's a very honorable guy, but he's still fucking Penguin.
Yeah.
And now you can see, like, okay, if they do a part 2, he's gonna rise up. Catwoman's gone. You're just like cycling in all the villains.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what comes now?
Yeah, and guess what? Maybe Falcone could find a way to work with somebody in Arkham, because that's a dark world that he could use against Batman. Like, or he can get closer to the Riddler and try and, like, there's so much things that they could do with that. But I love the fact that they kind of introduce a little bit of everybody. They can go any direction they want.
Bro, I would love if fucking the Joker teamed up with the Riddler, and then you have say there's another villain that's in Arkham, and they like teamed up and they took over Arkham.
Yeah.
And just like the video game, bro, he has to go in and fight everybody.
And go into Arkham.
That's into Arkham.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what you want. I mean, that's what I want. And again, this is my personal preference and taste, but it's a world that hasn't really been explored yet in that Batman universe. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
So it's something new, but yeah, I loved it. A lot of people are gonna hate it for that reason.
Watch it again. I'll wait for it to get on HBO Max, but
yeah, I mean, I might go to the movies again just to say fuck it. Why
maybe
not?
a midday matinee.
Yeah, go crazy.
Maybe a little bit, get a large popcorn.
Always. But I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was a good switch up. I do think Robert Pattinson was, and also Zoe Kravitz. She was a really good Catwoman.
I think she's my favorite in the Batman universe, because Catwoman, I think, was just a one-off movie with Halle Berry. But I think she's
you
up
mean
there.
like with Michelle Pfeiffer? You're talking
Michelle
about
Pfeiffer, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Her and Michelle Pfeiffer. Zoe's my favorite, just because her mannerisms. Even though Michelle Pfeiffer,
I know,
beautiful.
Hey, bro, when she licks, hey, bro. As a kid, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on, but fucking my shorts is warm right now.
I was like, I gotta go, guys.
Hey, blood rushing. I'm in a moment of rage.
Hey, I could see nothing but red.
I see nothing but this cat.
Let's get to the kitty to purr.
But yeah, like she killed
great.
it. She killed it. And I'm excited to see, like, even if the Joker is just like a secondary character, like having him and the way he looks mangled and just you could tell, like, yes, Heath Ledger's Joker had a little bit of that, but this is to like the 10th extreme of, like, even patches of fucking hair.
Yeah, because he has his skin burned out because he was like in that bat, or like he was dropped in like the bat of
toxic waste
or acid, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
So like skinned him, and it like took off parts of his fucking face. And
but he's just as fucking manic and as ever, and like I could see why that scene was cut. But I'm glad it's like a post thing after the movie.
I'm glad it's out there.
And they give the deleted scene, kind of like how Marvel does on Disney, on the Disney app.
Yeah,
Disney Plus is they have like those one-off scenes with different heroes and stuff, like with Thor, and like it's just maybe 10 minutes, but it's there on the app. So DC doing that same thing of like, this didn't make the cut, but here it is.
And honestly, I think they kind of do it on purpose in terms of getting it out after the fact, because they want to see people's reaction to like those like important, like, because that could have been a pivotal moment.
Because he accurately described who he was looking for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think they left it out because they want to see people's opinions. And honestly, I thought Barry Keoghan did great. Like, it was a different type of Joker, but I still liked him.
But it also made sense to why, when the Riddler got into Arkham, why the Joker wanted to be friends with him, because he saw all the paperwork.
Yeah.
He saw the photos. He saw of all the riddles and stuff. So that makes sense of like, oh, he knows about him already. Like, I want that. What is it? What's one thing that the more you have, the less in value, or something like that? The riddle about like, a friend. Like, the more you have, the less you have, the more in value is a friend. He wanted to be friends with him because he's like, oh, I like your work.
Yeah.
He's looking at his art show, kind of like Evelyn. He's looking at it, he's like, Oh, I like your work right
Hey,
here.
one cycle to another.
Hey,
Bravo.
Bravo. A little too. You did a little much for me. I'm not a big fan of Sudoku, but hey,
Hey, you
teach
know
their
what?
own.
Me personally, I would have done a little different. But he looked at like the fucking how like the mangled face of how like they did it with like the rats. I don't want to give too much away, but it's like, oh wow, this
Yeah.
guy's. Even the Joker's like, this guy's talented.
Yeah, I like Matt Reeves' universe of the Batman, his interpretation.
Yeah. So he's gonna explore into it. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna wait and see. But I loved it.
Mm.
But yeah. Well, I think we've gone
Covered
a lot
everything.
with this podcast. Do you want to leave with anything?
Saturday. These hats are dropping.
4/2/22. Our posts are already out.
Mm-hmm.
So we just debuted them. It's 8:33. We posted at 7:30, so it's been out for an hour already. You guys will see by the time this comes out. 4/2/22 will be on the website. We'll have the link in the bio.
Got more stuff coming on the way. We just been working.
Work and grind.
Like Gunna said, if I don't post and I go ghost, it's gonna be for a reason.
That's a good reason.
Working.
Hey guys, there's so stupid. Hey guys, there's a reason I haven't posted in about a year. All right, on my social media, you'll see why.
Oh, you've been playing the long game, the slow
The
play.
extreme. Hey, probably a year and a half at this point. I'm playing the real long game.
New Girl, where Schmidt's in the bar and she's like, "Fancy to see you here." He's like, "How long have you been here?" She's like, "I don't know." She can't catch the fucking straw. That's just you for a year and a half on social media. Just like, oh, you're back. I thought you deleted your account.
Nah, I'm just back and better than ever.
I'm back and better. I've been waiting.
So you guys will see in the very, very near future why. Yeah. But yes, let's focus on this for now. 4/22. Link will be in the bio.
Get these hats. Wear them.
The lead time, we have some stock ready available. The lead time will be short for all the made to order hats. Not like typically with our other stuff. It's always a little bit longer just because of suppliers. This will be a lot shorter in terms of lead time. So you'll have it relatively soon. And guess what, guys? Baseball's starting. Everybody's going to start going back to games. Why wouldn't you have this at the ready? Because guess what? You want to stand out? This is going to stand out. People are looking at it and be like, what is that?
What is that? What brand is that?
Yeah. And y'all going to be the only ones to have it.
How'd they get in Dodger Blue?
Those 600
get that
bitches.
nice fucking structure that shapes your head beautifully and accentuates your eyes.
How do you
what
have
they're
that?
gonna think?
That's exactly what they're gonna think. Yeah. How do I get baseball?
They're like, I'm trying to figure out what's harder, me or the bats on your hat.
Wait, what?
What?
Guys, we've gone on too long. Until next week, guys, we love y'all. Y'all be safe. Please comment, like, subscribe. We will be back next week. Until then, deuces.
Later.